Hey guys, welcome to Nerdville. This is our part 2 of the strongest One Piece characters of all time tier list. The link for part 1 will be in the description if you haven't seen it. Enjoy! Okay, so we have Moria now. So basically, I think he's like a captain level character. Uh, it doesn't like there's nothing that is shown to me that he's he's stronger than Apu or that he's stronger than any of the captains over here. I think he can't beat any of the cream of the crop at this point. It's been proven, especially after him trying to, invade uh Blackbeard's island and just getting crushed, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think we need to discuss it further.
Yeah.
Who's next? Tesoro.
All right.
Tesoro. Tesoro, I'd put him in captain as well. Like it took Gear 4 Luffy to be able to defeat him. Like he couldn't defeat him any way else. So I'd say like you need to be a Gear 4 Luffy like level character to defeat him. So captain just makes sense. Who's the next character?
Uh,
Kiori, right?
Kiori, yes. Honestly, I think it's a meh. Like she is an important character, but I don't think there's anything strength wise that would suggest that she's anything but a meh character.
Yeah. Power wise, makes sense. She's not a power character at
Yeah.
all. So man,
All right, let's put Hordy. So
uh,
Hordy, honestly, I think he probably needs some improvement because even with the drug thing, it's like it just wasn't enough, and Luffy wasn't even like he was powerful, but it's not like anything challenging. I don't think he can beat
was
any of.
what like elephant gatling? Is that what he used? Yeah, it
Yeah,
was elephant
it's
gatling.
like do
Yeah,
you think he can beat any of those ones? Like I think Nami at this stage
no,
could beat
he's
Hordy.
he's a he's a souped up Arlong. That's all he was. Like, yeah, Nami could take him out. Like, not in the water, obviously, but you know what I mean.
No, I mean if you're in the situation where they're like on Fishman Island and they're fighting, I think at this stage she beats him.
And yeah, and even Luffy, like, he beat him underwater. Like, it's
And he was juiced up
he's a
completely.
devil fruit
Yeah,
user.
and he was completely juiced up.
Yeah. All right. I think it's fair. Let's move on to the next character, so we make this a bit quicker this time.
Yeah, so
Uh,
Yogoro?
Hyogoro. Oh, okay. Hyogoro. So we're talking Hyogoro in his prime, cream of the crop. Because like Hyogoro in his prime, it was said that he was like peak samurai level, like close to Oden even, and that if he was with Oden when he first fought Kaido, that Kaido wouldn't have had a chance or something close to that. So, and we saw him when he had his Ice Oni form. Even it's like he was able to tap into that prime strength, like Garp and Riley and all those. So yeah,
I,
cream of the
I,
crop, I think.
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
Strong character when he's like when he's in his prime, and then Ichiji. I mean, captain level probably.
He seemed like the strongest of the G's of the G brothers, apart from Sanji, obviously. Well, but except Sanji nerfs himself. But yeah, I think he's more competent than the rest for sure. So I think Captain Mig. He had this like small fight against Katakuri. Makes sense.
Hmm. So that's
Emu just put her in NA. We don't know.
exactly okay. So now we're doing Lucci. I think he's a cream of the crop character since he's one of the highest level of CP0 in the government, and he's been called the one with the most potential. I think that it just makes sense that he would be on that level at this stage of especially with the reverie that gives you a foreshadowing, I think, of what's about like how important he's gonna still be to the story.
Yeah, so Lucci, I agree. I mean, you can compare him to a character like Guernica, the CP0 agent who like defeated Izo, defeated Apu, managed to intervene in the fight between Luffy and Kaido. You can compare him to that character as well. So I think cream of the crop makes sense. So who's next? After him, it's Inuyarashi. Inu, the big dog. Cream of the crop. Like He's like even when Neko and Inu went into their Sulong form, like Kaido said that like to Jack straight up, who's one of his commanders, he's too strong for you. They're too strong for you. You can't deal with them. So yeah, Creamy the Crop makes sense.
All right, so let's do Izo, captain. I think it's just strong samurai,
Yeah,
but on the level with everybody else, but nothing special in a way. Right. I think Jack is for me cream of the crop because unfortunately he doesn't get really a good moment to shine. He's always like that huge presence, but the reality is that weirdly enough, the fact that he's a fishman and has a devil fruit is very problematic for him in a way.
that's true.
And I think we've seen it before that fishmen with devil fruits, it's actually kind of for them, it's really a big deal. That it's very, very problematic for them.
Yeah. I'd honestly maybe like put him in captain actually, just because like he doesn't really have like you say a moment where he shines.
I think it's perfect because the next character I think will perfectly relate to this. I think Jinbei is cream of the crop.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think Jinbei, if Jack would have been there, Jinbei would have been his opponent in Wano. And so I think they're exactly where they need to be in that area here.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough.
So
Who's next?
Jozu,
Say
honestly,
captain, like Izo. Same thing, captain. Like he
yes.
fought in the War of the Best. He fought in what's it called, the war against Blackbeard, the comeback war.
Mhm.
They lost both times, but I mean he's still like I'd say he's comparable to Izo. Like they seem to be in a similar, you know, league. I'd say.
Hmm. Yes. Let's do Judge now. I think Judge is needs some improvement
Yeah, yeah.
because honestly, uh, there's nothing impressive. Like he's just like he looks like he's decently like physically strong, but there's just nothing. His children are just much better than he is.
He definitely needs some improvement.
All right, let's do Conjuro. I think Conjuro is captain. I think he's with the scabbards. I think he has a good fruit. He's very smart and all that kind of stuff. But I think if we're talking about strength, I think that he just fits with this group.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there's an argument for cream of the crop, just given how cunning he is. But if we're just purely talking about power, yeah, I think that like from his feats, like the rain, the drawing, the deception, like it just like he's on that level, I'd say.
So let's do the next one, Karasu. I think we don't know much. I think it's the same thing
Yeah,
for all of them. It's like we assume that they're strong based on the fact that they are high into the ranks, but
yeah,
there's
comparing them to like Kuma and Ivankov and stuff like that. But
like
yeah,
we have some revolutionaries where we know information that allows us to rank them, but I think in this case it's just too early to give us like an actual ranking.
yep,
Katakuri, I mean,
Almighty.
almighty for sure. Uh,
I don't think we need to talk about like some people don't like understand that Katakuri's future sight is just the next level. Like the only future sight we've seen that's close to his is Shanks. He's got great Conqueror's Hockey,
I mean, I
great
would disagree.
potential.
I think a character that's just below him right now gives you that sense of future sight, which is an L.
Yeah, yeah, true. There's an L as well. You're right. You're right. But I'd say Katakuri feels really a cut above. Like Luffy had never seen that before.
All right, so let's do the next one.
Yeah, I'd say captain for Kawamatsu. Yeah, Kawamatsu. Just he's a scabbard. They seem all like apart from like Raizo again, or yeah, Raizo or Kanjuro that stand out a bit more. They're all pretty much the same.
True. All right, so Kid. I think honestly, Kid is in that group. Like I think
Yeah,
Wano really showed us what he can do and how strong he is. I mean, breaking Big Mom's arm and just just like
yeah,
the incredible techniques, his like natural tankiness. It's just
He's smart too.
He's really smart too. Like,
Because the creations he has, the rail gun, like that's not something you can pull off, because of like, oh, I'm gonna creatively use my devil fruit this way. No, 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 no. You need some like engineering skills and stuff like to be able to know that. So
what
he's pretty smart and
he
he's
does
super
a
tanky
he
too.
does a whole trap box on the.
Yeah, that was impressive too.
I
On
mean,
who was it? Zeus? Yeah, Zeus.
yeah,
It was
I'm pretty sure
Zeus.
it was Zeus. Yes, it's just like
He like was able to stand back up and defeat Big Mom. He's definitely up there.
I mean, Killer. I think Killer's cream of the crop to me. Um,
Yeah,
I think.
he he one shot Hawkins.
I mean, yeah, but as I said, like we've talked about Hawkins. I mean, I think he's his own worst enemy. Uh,
Yeah, in a
but
way, but I mean,
but Killer's impressive.
once
No, I
once
mean, he was on the rooftop. He was
yeah,
impressive.
yeah,
But I
he
mean,
was impressive on the
but I
rooftop.
mean, if you look at any of those characters, you could see them at a rooftop in that situation.
Yeah, yeah, that's what that tier is.
I mean, Kinemon, typical scabbard. I think it's just captain tier. Uh,
Yeah, nothing much to say about Kinemon.
All right, so King. I mean,
Almighty.
I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, even
King is also his worst enemy.
exactly. I think he could have maybe even made it to goat tier at one point based on like if
Yeah,
he
I
just
don't think
no
like
just on
if
of sheer ability plus devil fruit
yeah,
power plus the
Oda
race.
kind of wrote himself into a corner there where he was
Yeah, a
like,
little bit.
well, he's got to like, or he should have given him a cooldown or something for his ability because the decision of like, oh, I'm going to turn it off to be faster. I mean, it wasn't very smart, but yeah, just power wise, definitely Almighty.
Kuma. Ooh, that's a good one. I think cream of the crop.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of like he's just described in such a way. He's so smart. He has such a great
He
fruit.
was built different,
Yes,
literally.
exactly.
He's a cyborg. He's got the access to technology. He's got an incredible devil fruit.
All
Uh,
right. But we gotta
Probably hockey too. Yeah, yeah, let's move on.
we gotta talk about the goat, the goat.
No,
Law.
man.
No. He's clearly here, but he's the goat. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Law, like he was so impressive against Big Mom. Like it seemed like the rule of you need hockey to be one of the best just doesn't apply to Law, even though he has hockey and he's really good with it. Lucky Roo.
Almighty, just one of his strongest commanders. Um,
Yeah, he's his what? His Sanji? Yeah, Lucky Roo is Shanks' Sanji. What did Sengoku say? He said something about Shanks' commanders. I don't remember.
I think they were like the strongest out there, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, Marco. Let's go for Marco, man.
I mean,
Damn,
easy,
Marco.
easy
Easy.
Almighty, easy
Almighty.
Almighty, easy Almighty.
Easy. That
Super.
that fight against King and Queen, man.
Not even that. I mean, just the power, the devil fruit power, everything. It's just like it's easy. All right, let's do Mihawk. Mihawk is, I think, almighty. I think he's a really strong character. Obviously, he's shown that he's like extremely powerful and he is the strongest swordsman. But we don't know enough. We haven't seen anything of his combat ability. It's a lot of mystique. And that's why I think he's almighty.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point from like what we've seen, and that's why I'll agree with you to put him in Almighty for sure. But personally, I do think that for plot reasons, obviously, I think he belongs in GOAT tier just because of like his title of the strongest swordsman, the fights that he had with Shanks that we obviously haven't seen, and we don't know at what level Shanks was back then for sure. But that's why I think he would be, and he's the strongest swordsman. But from what we've seen, just Almighty is a good placement for him. Yeah.
All right. Let's do Momo. I mean, are we talking young Momo or adult
Well, I
Momo?
think we have two images. We have adult Momo and young
Oh,
Momo, so we
I
can
mean,
talk about them
I
separately.
mean, young Momo, meh. Sorry, it's just
Yeah.
he's a kid. He needs to learn.
Yeah, he has
That's
the
it.
voice of all things. He can control Zunisha and stuff, which is crazy, but he can't do it, from
Could-
on the snap of his
Yeah,
fingers.
exactly. I mean, Monet, meh. I mean, she was just basically she got scared by Zoro. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
she
it.
got one shot by Zoro. No, she got zero shots by Zoro because
Exactly.
Zoro didn't actually hit her with hockey.
All right, let's get to the next one.
All right, so Neko Mamushi, same as Inu, I think. Just put him in the cream of the crop. Just makes sense.
Fair enough. Uh,
Nichiji,
Nichiji.
yeah.
I mean, Captain.
No, not right. From what I remember, he got slapped by Sanji. He just feels like a weaker version of Ichiji. So I would put him
Need
in.
some improvement.
Yeah, needs some improvement. Yeah.
No, I can see it. Oden. Almighty. Yes. That's a really good question.
You're
Uh,
hesitating more with Oden than with Mihawk.
but because Oden, we do have a whole backstory. We know what he
Yeah,
meant. We know which cruise he was part of. Like, I think it's GOAT. I think honestly, he is a GOAT character. Like Kaido had to
yeah,
basically cheat to win.
yeah.
He had
And
no.
it was Prime Kaido.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he did say he got stronger afterwards, but by like how much?
Kiku needs some improvement.
Yeah, that's just basic. Like she seemed like the weakest of the scabbards. So just I think that's the ideal place for her.
All right, let's talk about Oven. Personally, I think he's cream of the crop. I think the
Oh yeah.
whole cake saga just like shows you how strong he is. Like he can boil the water, which is kind of crazy. He's just so strong. The power is so strong. He's really tanky. Like I honestly think I was surprised he was not even a sweet general. I guess he just didn't have a sweet name.
Um, I will say something though. There is a scene. I don't know if you remember. It's when Sanji and Co are bringing the cake to Big Mom,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like I don't remember exactly the scene, but basically, it looks like Sanji stops time. That's how fast he is, and Oven can't even realize that Sanji is the one that hit him from behind before Sanji has the time to move back into place where he was.
You know what?
See what I mean?
You're right. Yeah, he's a
It feels more
captain.
like a captain
Yeah, you're right.
character. Like Sanji's captain too, but he's there because again, like he's his own downfall.
All right. Page one, captain. I don't think we need to talk more. Good fruit, strong
Yeah,
character, but
it
nothing
took Big
special.
Mom to take him out.
All right. Pero espero, cream of the crop. So smart, super strong.
Fought Marco.
I mean,
They needed Neko Mamushi to take him out. He took out two Sulongs. He took out Carrot,
mhm.
and who was the other one? Wanda. Yeah, Wanda. I think it's
Mhm.
Wanda. I'm not sure, but I think it's Wanda. It was Wanda and Carrie. Took them both out, and he needed Neko to take him out. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty self-explanatory.
Queen.
Ah,
Cream of the crop because he's his worst own enemy. If we're gonna dink Sanji for his weaknesses, we have to do it for
yeah,
Queen as well.
it's Queen is the same thing, man. Like he turns invisible, and he's like, oh my god, this power is so OP. But he's so large that he makes so much noise when he walks that it just doesn't matter. So he just nerfs himself because he's stupid, even though he's smart. It's very strange. I'd say cream of the crop or even captain, same as Sanji, just
Mm,
because
no,
no, this is technology too.
no, because the thing is, like, he does like Sanji's weakness is a bigger weakness than Queen's weakness.
That's
That's
true.
how I see it. Because Sanji really
Hmm.
like he can get into a situation where you can literally just neutralize him completely. Like Queen, for example, can help against Big Mom. Sanji literally can't do anything. For example.
Yeah, well, he could block. We saw him block at least one of her hits, but he can't hit her for sure.
Exactly. It's like Queen can actually probably take down, for example,
Well, we saw
Boa.
him fought Big Mom. We saw
Yeah,
him fight Big Mom.
exactly. Well, we saw it, but what I mean is like Queen can probably, for example, take out like he can probably take out somebody like Boa, which Sanji is literally
That's true. Yeah,
incapable of
that's
fighting
true.
at all.
Whatever.
Rizo,
Yeah.
captain,
Oh,
captain.
yeah. but you know,
Oh no, he was
a,
incredible.
a
He was
cut
in,
above the rest,
no,
man.
he was incredible, but I think it's still like it's more about smart decision making than pure
And
strength.
the willpower too.
Yeah.
The
All right.
willpower, that thing, yeah. Whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's
or else
do
we'll talk about
Riley.
Riser for too long.
Goat. Goat for Riley. It has to be. If we're talking about Prime,
Yeah,
it has to
yeah.
be.
Like I don't know if you saw this in the anime yet, but there's a scene where like I don't know, 18-year-old Marco, I think, just rushes Riley with his like Mark of the Phoenix move or whatever. And then Riley infuses hockey into his finger and just pokes it and stops it.
No, I mean he's
I
a
think
goat.
goat tier, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all right. Ah, let's talk about
All right. Reiju.
Rachel.
I'd
Cat.
say Captain, yeah, she was more competent than her siblings, apart from maybe Ichiji, because he was clearly the strongest. But yeah, I'd say Captain for her is just adequate. Like she's definitely stronger than her two idiot brothers. So yeah, I'd say Captain makes sense.
All right, let's talk about rocks. I mean, that's the only one with very little information that we can confidently put in goat tier. I think just the story
Yeah,
just backs
yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's the thing.
They needed two goat tiers to defeat him. So
That
yeah,
also that just leads to Roger, which is easy goat tier. I think we can make
yeah,
it very
easy goat
quick.
tier for sure.
I mean, just not even a
We don't
question.
need to explain. It's Roger.
Then we have Sabo.
Sabo. I'm gonna say Almighty.
I agree. I totally agree with
Like
that.
he was so strong without even a devil fruit. Like we saw that he could use Rio already, which is super advanced. Like he has all of his dragon moves, and he on top of that he has a super powerful devil fruit, and he's one of the three brothers that have so much potential. So it just makes sense to put him there, where Ace should have been if he were still alive, basically.
Hmm.
All right, so now we have Sakaki. Yeah, I'd put him in
Captain.
captain.
Yeah.
Captain, yeah, like he got destroyed by Frankie, but he's still tanky. He got the hockey, the strong devil fruit. Yeah, just makes sense.
I mean, okay. Next one is
Scott Gabon.
uh Almighty.
Yeah, again, he was Roger Sanji. In the anime, he was fighting Oden. Like, just makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as strong as Riley, but yeah,
All
Almighty.
right. I'll put. So let's talk about Usopp. I think Usopp is captain. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
I think he's underrated. He's one of the most underrated characters. He's incredibly tanky for somebody that
Oh yeah,
basically doesn't have armament Aki at all. He just never uses it and
so
takes
tanky.
hits that make no sense. If you think about like taking them, he does have incredible perception hockey. He's the clutchest of all the Straw Hats. You can say
That's
whatever you
true.
want from Luffy, but if you need somebody to make a play, it has to be
Yeah,
Usopp.
it's Usopp. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's a bit like with Buggy, except with Usopp, he can actually be in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So like where Buggy will get out of situations because of plot, Usopp will get out of it because of sheer willpower. So yeah, I'd say he's definitely a cut above the other weaker Straw Hats, which is weird to say when you're talking about Nami and Chopper in comparison to Usopp.
Well,
But he's so tanky.
we'll see when we get to Chopper. I have my own take on
fair,
Chopper.
fair enough.
All right, Sengoku go tier. Um,
Yeah,
I I
yeah.
mean one of the strongest Marines ever. I mean in his prime, I think. I mean, there's no doubt that he is basically the Aokiji Akainu, if you want to put it that way, of their generation. So not
And I
in terms of
mean,
personality.
there's a reason why during Ace's execution he was next to Ace because he's the last line of defense because he's so powerful.
Exactly.
All right. After that, we got Shiki, another of the old school super powerful people. I'm gonna put him in Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he belongs in GOAT tier. I think he's one of those guys that were like very strong, like Admiral, type level strong, but didn't have the grit to get stronger by his own. So he needed like these other things, like these plans and stuff to try and become stronger. So yeah,
All right.
just think that's where he belongs.
All right. Let's do the Mermaid
Shirahoshi.
Princess. I think honestly, Captain is the way to go. I think she's super powerful, but at the end of the day, like her personality and her lack of control of everything, it's just you're
Yeah,
just not consistent. You can't. I don't think you can put her any lower than that just because of the
yeah.
sheer
No,
power.
from what we've seen, like if it's mastered, then go tier, easy. But
Oh,
like
I mean,
she
because then
has
she's
no
weapon.
control over it. So
Yeah. All right. Shiryu. I mean, Almighty or Cream of the
uh,
Crop? That's the question.
I think if we're going on how we ranked Mihawk, we should put him in cream of the crop and not Almighty.
I would
Just
agree.
because like we haven't seen anything from him. Like really, not really. It's we have a lot of hopes, a lot of high hopes, but we haven't seen much. So it's a bit like Mihawk. We know plot wise he belongs higher, but since we haven't seen much from him, that's where he is.
I mean, I kind of like him in the company of that group of people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see like later on in One Piece, he'll be probably much higher, but yeah. All
All
right,
right.
so after
It's smoothie.
Shiryu,
It's smoothie.
Smoothie.
I think needs some
Uh,
improvement. I think you look at the power, you look at everything, and you would
yeah.
think, wow, like it's a captain level power, but it's just never materialized. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, all she does is like absorb her subordinates and then shoot like giant, what is it, like energy, like sword slashes. And she's a like sweet commander, but she didn't make it up the waterfall. It's kind of it's kind of weird. I'd say I agree with you there. There's not much from her to put her any higher, except from her title.
True.
You take the next one, man.
I mean, Blackbeard, uh, goat, straight up. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
I think the fact that he has two devil fruits are basically two, two of the strongest ever. He's smart. He has a great crew. Um, just he's so tanky, so
the
versatile.
cunningness. The
He's so
he's
versatile,
devious too.
and he's just honestly, you could even make a case that it's as much as his story that it is Luffy's.
Yeah, I agree. No, no, goat tier for sure. There's no debating that.
Okay, Chopper.
Yeah, you were talking about it earlier. Let's go.
Honestly, I think he's captain level.
Okay,
I
make
think
your
I
case.
I think with his advancement on Rumble Balls and everything, he just shows you that his fruit has so much versatility. He is so integral. He can like basically kind of just keep himself in a fight longer than he should just by and it's his own making. He doesn't need anybody. He can do it on the spot if he needs to. And the fact that his gigantic form is basically the equivalent of what a Sulong is, if you think about it. He's just so powerful.
That's true. He's pretty
I'm
powerful.
just so impressed with him all the time. I mean that karate style thing, he's just like you can't touch him. He has the guard point one where basically
Kung Fu point, yeah.
yeah, he's basically invulnerable at that point. Like he can take basically anybody's hits. Like he could honestly, I think in guard point he could probably take a hit from
He
Big Mom.
take he
He could
did
probably
tank a hit from Big Mom.
yeah, he
He did
did.
take a hit from Big Mom. It was
So
probably not Conqueror's hockey coding. I think it was her in rage, not thinking. But still, it's impressive.
I mean, if you look at the characters all of there, can they like nobody? None of them can take a Conqueror's hockey code and punch from Big Mom. So I'd make my case.
Yeah. No, no. Okay. No, no. Captain, you've made a value. He does have a lot of
I
different.
think the only reason
I
now
do think, like I said, he does need a bit of improvement. So that's why I felt that would be the
but
perfect
they
tier
all
for him.
do in a
But
way.
you do, yeah, yeah, they all do, and you did like the point of him having multiple different forms to deal with multiple different situations, having the even as a support anyways, like he's a very good support because he can
Mhm.
heal you, he can figure out the enemy's weakness, he can tank sufficient enough of time till a stronger character arrives. Yeah, no, okay, I agree, you've made a valid point.
And Nami is clearly the weakest one because the only thing for her that makes her like crazy at this point is that she got Zeus, right?
Yeah, I mean she's a bit tankier too. We saw that she took. I don't want to take another headbutt. She took a few headbutts, so
Yeah, yeah.
she's pretty tanky.
No,
But
she's pretty
yeah,
tanky, but she's like those characters. They can take those hits, but like it's not like the only way. I think it's like Hordy. It's like you need a little bit of a boost. That Chopper is his own boost. He doesn't need
yeah,
anybody else. Like
okay.
you know what I mean? She needs Usopp's
hmm
technology to be better. Like it's reliant on
hmm
other people's strength that make you better when those characters are their own strength themselves, and that
Yeah,
should be
okay.
counted into that.
Fair enough. Next is Tsuru. Tsuru. So she was kind of like the Sakura of the Garp Sengoku, trio. I would assume cream of the crop, but I'm gonna put her in NA honestly because we have no idea.
I would agree.
Because this is just pure assumption. Like, really, there's nothing to back it up. Just that they have this thing, all three of them.
All right, time to be controversial.
Uh,
Brooke, cream of the crop.
yeah, yeah, he's extremely competent.
I mean, the thing about Brooke is that you would say whatever, like
Always succeeds.
exactly. He always succeeds.
Always succeeds.
Always succeeds. His fruit is interesting. Not
hmm
least to say, it's like the thing about it is that if you look at his fruit, it doesn't use it at all for compatibility. Like it doesn't like the way he fights and how he fights and what he does has nothing to be based around his fruit. Which is like that's the most incredible part for me. Because it's like what is really his fruit? Like he
Yeah,
can't
yeah, you
die.
don't know.
It's just
You
so
don't know.
versatile. And a little bit for you guys that like a little bit of theory right now. Um, I believe we all know that Usopp's lies all come true, and one of them is that he was gonna die, but we assume that he's just not gonna die, and I think that might be something related to Brooks' fruit that could make him OP.
That's true. Could bring him back to life or something like that.
Like maybe he can see somebody's soul leave their body and force it back in
Maybe, yeah.
because we know
But
souls are at play somehow.
back to Brooks' like actual strength. And
Mhm.
I do I when you said it, I was agreeing with you for the cream of the crop, but there is something like I feel like the cream of the crop characters, the ones that we've put there anyways, are characters that can deal with situations alone. And while Brooke can get in anywhere, right, and do his thing and deal with his situation alone, when we're talking about a fight against another S tier, I don't think he can compete with these other guys. Like I do think
I
again
I
he's super competent and
I
stuff,
think if
but he
Whole
doesn't
Cake
have hockey.
honestly, if
Mm,
Whole Cake Island has shown you anything, is that he can hold his own. He literally holds his own against Big Mom. As you
it's
said,
true.
with no hockey,
Yeah,
nothing,
yeah.
just his pure combat strength ability.
Mm.
I think if you
No,
look at,
you're right.
I think like it's just and we're talking Wano on top of it with the
How
improvements.
durable is Brooke?
Pretty durable too.
Do we know? He's a
He's pretty.
skeleton.
But we see it all the time. He gets his skull cracked all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. He just needs milk, like Luffy needs,
Meat. It's the same.
milk or meat as well.
That's how body works. That's how the body works.
And like you just have Frankie stand by with the fridge, and Brooke is immortal.
Exactly. All right, let's do ulti.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the
She
crop.
was the strongest of all of those Toby. They were so hyped that Toby Ropo, and apart from like Hawkins, not Hawkins, X Drake, who is actually not a Toby Ropo. All of the other ones were kind of meh. Apart from maybe Who's Who, and he even needed help. Like Ulti clearly, like she took a hit from Big Mom, got back up. Like she's cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Virgo. Ooh, you're not gonna like my take on it. I will let you take it first.
All right, so for me, Virgo is captain. I think that I would have maybe considered him cream of the crop, but like it's hard to tell because Law did need like help to defeat him, kind of. Um, I think just his overall hockey ability, no devil fruit, like cracking Sanji's leg and all that. I just think captain is fair. I can't assume cream of the crop. It's not
Okay. You know
smoker.
what? I can see that
See,
for the master of hockey. Also, I'm looking at the captain tier,
it's
and
getting very cluttered. Yeah.
no, and there's something that was really disturbing me. I think Kobe needs to be moved up.
So, but we talked about not putting characters too high because of plot.
No, but I think just the importance of him, the fact that it's not only just the plot, it's the fact that he has some achievements. Becoming the hero of the Marines, and that part.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm a huge Kobe fanboy, so I'd love to put him higher. But again, because of what we did to
Uh,
Mihawk, and it just makes sense to keep him there.
all right, but I think that's a problem.
I see what you mean
All
for
right,
plot reason, but same with
Vista,
Mihawk.
Vista, easy captain. I think it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's one of those guys. Um,
like Jozu and Izo.
okay,
And he fought against Mihawk
Whitebeard,
too.
goat
Yeah, go tier.
tier. I mean, we call him
Put him at the top.
He's goat beard
Goat beard for sure.
by Shanks. Goat beard. All right. Oh my God.
Okay, so
Weevil.
after goat beard, huh?
Weevil.
Weevil. All right.
NA. NA strap. We
And
don't know.
yeah,
We know nothing.
he's a Shikibukai, so maybe captain, but we've only seen him swipe away fodder from like these like foot soldiers. So I don't know. All right, so who's who? Who's who? We saw him fight Jinbei. He needed a bit of help from from his allies, but Jinbei is like cream of the crop character, so it just makes sense. Yeah, where
Captain,
you
right?
put him, captain,
I mean, Yamato.
almighty.
I think so. There's no like.
Like I put Yamato over Zoro. Like I
Mm,
have my qualms with Zoro and the way he got his Conqueror's Haki and stuff, but Zoro doesn't master Conqueror's Haki through his weapon. Yamato does. She fights Kaido alone.
oh
Super
no, for
powerful Devil
sure,
Fruit.
for sure. Oh, I mean,
Yes up. Gonna be too many almighty characters.
no, no, there isn't because that's just how One Piece is, and we're mixing
Yeah,
eras. So when you
true.
mix
We are mixing
eras,
eras, so it makes sense. Yeah.
so like it's gonna happen. The
Hmm.
more timeline you bring into it, the more difficult it becomes. Like you're gonna have more people at the top too.
That's true.
I think
All
it just
right.
makes sense. Like Shanks, Commander, we know.
Yeah, yeah. You said so earlier. Shanks' commanders are the strongest, so
Yonji needs some improvement, man. We need
yeah,
some
he's the
improvement.
weakest. He's the weakest of his brothers. So just yeah. Zephyr. Um, I mean Zephyr. He's this like super OP ex admiral. He fought 1v1 versus Kizaru.
Almighty in that
Cream of the
game.
yeah. I don't know. It's these like movie non-canon characters. I mean, I guess yeah. Almighty.
I mean,
He's an ex admiral.
at the end of the day, I think it's always the same thing. Is like every time we talk about an admiral, we're hesitant to put them strong.
Yeah.
That with pirates, weirdly enough, we have zero hesitation. We just like assume even characters that have
But it's
proven
because
nothing.
admirals haven't been present in this part of the story very much. That's why we've been hesitating. But I
Exactly.
mean, there are some characters like Garp and Sengoku and Akainu. We just know how strong they are.
All right,
Um,
we have God Luffy apparently. So obviously that
NA,
is
NA,
it's
man.
go tier because imagination is the limit, and so he's go tier.
Yeah,
No, obviously NA,
yeah,
but
yeah. I
uh
know. Like We at this point in Wano, we don't know the limitations of Gear 5. So that's why we put Luffy in Almighty and not God tier, because we just don't know for now. So it just anyways, having two Luffys makes no sense. So
Well, having two Blackbeards apparently makes too much sense.
yeah,
If you know what I'm talking about, guys.
yeah. um, Ryokuju, I think, yeah, at Green Bull, Admiral Green Bull.
I mean,
Is it Admiral?
yeah, it has to be minimum criminal of the crop, I think. Like
Yeah.
he's an
His
admiral.
fruit is insane.
This
His
fruit is
fruit is insane.
this fruit is
Um,
beyond crazy.
yeah. No, I think Almighty. Yeah.
Uta, cream of the crop, really powerful fruit, but I don't know about combat itself. How much?
Yeah, like I mean, the only reason the admirals couldn't deal with her is because she was taking hostages. So
That is true. Maybe she's more like needs
I'd
some
say NA. I'd say
NA
NA.
because the movie just is designed in a way to make her like to
Exactly. It's a very powerful fruit, but like I just don't feel comfortable ranking her. It just doesn't make sense for me.
all right.
Her fruit is definitely very powerful, but yeah,
Adult Momo, I think is
cream of the crop.
cream of the crop. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
best.
he's so strong.
All right, so looks like we have a couple of Seraphins next.
We're
Well,
not ranking the seraphims, guys.
exactly. So we're gonna just put them in NA.
We're ranking Wano.
Exactly.
Yeah, put them in NA. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we don't know who this character is. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Loki, the one on the left. Sorry, not him. That's young Garp. The silhouette on the left. We're not sure who that is. If you guys know, let us know. I think it's Loki, but I'm not sure. And even if it is Loki, we don't know anything about him.
So
Okay.
Tamago, I think he's needs some improvement. Honestly, I didn't see much. Like he looks like he's a high ranking member, but he doesn't do much to show us that he's that powerful. Um,
Yeah, it's his fight against Peckham's. I think not Peckham. Sorry, Pedro.
yeah,
Pedro, I think defeated him, right?
basically,
I have tough
yeah.
time remembering Whole
All
Cake
right.
very well, but
Also, okay,
after
so
Tamago, we got
Brule,
Brule.
meh. She just proved
Man,
she
yeah,
was meh.
her power is strong, but she can get taken out by anyone.
Exactly. Peckham's captain, especially with the Sulong form. Like,
Yeah, with the Sulong for sure.
also let's do Kaku. I think is from what we've seen. I think it needs some improvement. I know he's gotten better, but there's nothing to tell me that his moving up in the rankings is not more due to Lucci liking having him around. Like like it
Yeah, I
got.
mean,
I mean, it's like it. It
Lucci has kind of that, that vibe about him that he's going to improve. Kaku, it didn't seem like he was that much of an intense fight for Zoro, from what I remember.
exactly, and it's just I feel like he's kind of the El Mepo to Kobe in a way. And it's like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, I
strong,
see that.
he'll work and he'll improve, but I don't know how much he'll improve really. Like, what's the limitation on truly what he wants to do?
Yeah. I mean,
Tsatsi,
we've seen some things, but
I mean Tsatsi,
so let's not talk about from assumption only. Let's do that. Let's be fair. If
I
we're
think
talking like
NA.
Egghead, it's
I think NA because we
yeah,
just
yeah.
don't know.
If we're not talking about Egghead, we don't know. So NA makes sense.
And the same for example, Dr. Vegapunk. NA is just
Yeah,
we
same
assume
thing
he's
as well.
strong, and Saturn from the Gorosei.
Yeah,
Just NA because we know he's gonna be important, but we don't know anything about it.
yeah, that's true.
So let's just like get a little recap here real
Yeah,
quick.
let's
Here's
see.
here's your ghost tier. I think I'm pretty like I mean this I mean that makes sense to me that those
Yeah,
are
I'm
the
pretty
goats.
confident in our go tier. Yeah.
Um
Almighty, the only one for me that should go up is Mihawk, but that's we've been over it. Like we can't put characters higher based on what we think the plot is waiting for them.
exactly.
Like Kobe, like with Mihawk, stuff like that.
Here we go. We go a little bit down and don't hesitate to tell us what you think about everything.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more One Piece content, don't forget to like and subscribe.
We are starting this YouTube channel with the intention of covering a variety of nerd content, notably One Piece, Star Wars, and Pokemon.
We will eventually cover other content, such as other manga, the MCU for instance, and any other content you guys would like us to cover. So just let us know. Hope you enjoyed the content.
See ya!